Hi children, it's me Irene back again with another new video for class 11 computer science students. Do you know one thing? Your input determines your outlook. Your outlook determines your output and your output determines your future. Said by Zig Ziglar. Any guesses? Yes, we are going to learn about simple input and output in a Python programming. The basic of computation involves input, process and output. All the programming languages read input, process it and print output. Now we are going to learn how Python is going to read a simple input and how it is going to print the simple output. Now let us begin with simple input. In Python 3.x onwards, to get input from the user interactively, the built-in function input is used. So the built-in function input is used to read the input from the user interactively in a Python programming. Let us consider the syntax of the input function. Before that, let us learn the rules of a syntax language. The syntax language states that the items enclosed within angle brackets must be given by the programmer. The items enclosed within square brackets are optional, and the items outside of all the square brackets and angle brackets must be given as it is. According to that, if you see this syntax, the first item is enclosed within angle brackets. This has to be given by the programmer. So here it is given as variable name. We have to follow all the identifier naming rules and we have to name the variable. So let us recall the identifier naming rules. Identifiers are the arbitrary long sequence of letters and numbers. The first letter of an identifier must be a letter. Even underscore also counts as a letter. The keywords must not be the identifier names. And the uppercase and lowercase are significant. So these are the identifier naming rules. By following that, you have to name a variable. Followed by, you can see equal to symbol, it is not surrounded within any of the angle brackets and square brackets. So it has to be given as it is. And if you see, even the input function and starting parenthesis and even the ending parenthesis, these things also, they are not surrounded within any of the square brackets and angle brackets. So that's why these has to be given as it is. If you see inside the parenthesis of the input function, within angle brackets, prompt to be displayed is given. So this is the prompt, we have to give it to the users. Based on this prompt only, the users will be entering the input values. So based on the prompt only, the user may be entering the integer value or string value or whatever values we have asked for it. So the prompt to be given for this input function is very much important. So this is a syntax of a input function. So let us see an example now. Here you can see I have created a variable called name followed by equal to, and then the input function starts here. The prompt is given as enter your name. So when I type this statement in an interactive shell and when I press the enter key, you will be getting the prompt as enter your name. Followed by there will be a cursor prompt also. From this cursor prompt onwards, the user will be start entering the input for this statement. So whenever we give a input function, the prompt whatever we have given will be displayed as a prompt to the user. Followed by there will be a cursor prompt also. So the user will start entering the input from the cursor prompt onwards. So you can see that the input data will be entered from the cursor prompt onwards. The input function always returns a string type. Whether you read a number or string through the input function, always it will be returned of a string type to the name of a variable on the left hand side. Suppose if you want to read a number and if you wanted to use that as a number in your program, what we have to do? Python provides two functions for us. One is int and another one is float function to be used with the input function to convert the values whatever we have received through the input function, because through the input function always we receive the string value only. So that string value, if you want to convert into integer or floating point types, then int or float function can be used with the input function. Now let us see how to read a string input. I have created a variable author equal to, we have an input function. The input function's prompt is given as enter your favorite author name. When I press the enter key, the prompt given as enter your favorite author name will be displayed as a prompt to the user, followed by there will be a cursor prompt. Suppose if I enter the value as Dan Brown, this value Dan Brown will be assigned to the variable author. Now we have received this value Dan Brown through the input function, so it will be assigned as a string value to the variable author. If you want to know what does the variable author contains, in an interactive shell, you can just simply type the name of the variable. It will display, when you press the enter key, it will display whatever value it references. At present, we have stored or assigned the value Dan Brown to the variable author. That's why it has displayed the answer as Dan Brown. And also you can see this value has been surrounded within quotes. So from this we can understand this is a string type. As we have received the input through the input function, it has been assigned as a string type. Anyway, if you want to know what is the type of the variable author, you can use the built-in function type to find what is the data type of the variable. Now, I have used type within parenthesis the name of the variable author. You can see it will be giving as class string type. So, you can understand, as we have received the input through the input function, the value whatever it has received has been stored as a string type. Now let us consider another example. Here I have created a variable called age equal to, in the input function's prompt is given as enter your age. So when I press the enter key, the prompt enter your age will be displayed as a prompt to the user, followed by there will be a cursor prompt. So, from the cursor prompt onwards, I will be giving my input. Suppose if I give my input as 17, this value 17 will be stored to the variable age, that is, it will be assigned to the variable age, and it will be assigned as a string type only. Though I have entered a number, it will be assigned as a string type. What is the reason? I have used the input function. So through the input, whatever input we give, everything will be returned as a string type. Suppose if you want to know what does the variable age contain, so you can just type the name of the variable age. It displays the value whatever it references. At present, it references the value 17. You can see the value 17 has been surrounded within quotes. So it has received this number as a string type only, right? So if you want to know what is the type of this variable age, you can just simply type using the type function. You can type within parenthesis age. So it displays what is the type it holds. What is the type of this age? So you can just see here it has given a string. Though we have entered the value as 17, as it was received through the input function, its data type is now of a string type. So what we have to do, how we have to convert this into a integer type, that we will see. Now let us see how to read an integer input. So I have created a variable called age equal to int input, and within parenthesis enter your age, that has been given as the prompt. So if you see the entire input function, right, the entire input function has been surrounded within the int function. So explicitly we are converting whatever we are receiving through the input function, that is whatever we are receiving through the input function will be always of a string type. So that string type we are converting using the int function explicitly. So whenever we enter a value through the input function, that is number as a value for this input function, that will be automatically converted as an integer using the int function. Now let us see, when I press the enter key, I will be receiving the prompt as enter your age, and suppose if I enter the value 17, this value 17 for this input function, it will be of a string type. I'll just show you. For this input function, the value 17 will be of the string type, right? And what does this integer function will do? It will convert this string into integer value. So what kind of value will be stored here? Here it will be stored as an integer value. So this is how the int function converts the value received through the input function. Now, if you want to check what is the data type of the variable age, you can type it as type within parenthesis age. So it will give as class integer. So as we have used the int function with the input function, whatever we have received through the input function has been converted into integer. That's why now the data type of the variable age is integer. So this is how an integer input can be read from the user. Now let us see how to read a floating point value. I have created a variable average equal to float, and within parenthesis of float I have given the entire input function. So whatever I receive through the input function as a string will be converted to the floating point data type. Now let us see, when I press the enter key, what happens. The prompt enter the average marks score, that will be displayed as a prompt. Suppose if I would have entered 96.5, this value 96.5 for the input function, it will be of the string type, right? So for this input function, 96.5 will be of a string type, and this float function will be converting this 96.5 into the floating point type, right? So the string value whatever we have received will be converted as the floating point value. So now if you want to know what is the data type of the variable average, you can use the type function to find what is the data type of the variable. It says as class float. Okay, so this is how we read the floating point input. So in this session we have learned how to read a string value, how to read an integer value, and also how to read a floating point value. Now let us see how to print the simple output. In Python 3.x onwards, to send output to the standard output device, that is to the monitor, the print function is used. The built-in function print is used to print anything on the screen. Now let us see the syntax of the print statement. Before that, let us recall the syntax language rules. The syntax language rules state that anything enclosed within angle brackets must be given by the programmer. Anything surrounded within square brackets are optional, and the items outside of all the square brackets and angle brackets must be given as it is. So according to that, if you see the print statement, right? So this keyword is not surrounded within any of the angle brackets or square brackets, so that has to be given as it is. Even the starting parenthesis and the ending parenthesis also not surrounded within any of the square brackets and angle brackets, so it has to be given as it is. Followed by, we have the first item as objects. It is surrounded within angle brackets. First we must know what are objects. Objects are one or more comma separated objects. These objects may be the literals or the variables. We may use a variable or we may use literals. Anything can be used here. They are comma separated objects here. Followed by, you can see surrounded within square brackets, right? So surrounded within square brackets, you can just see here, surrounded within square brackets, we have two arguments. The first argument is sep and the second argument is end. The sep argument's default value is space here. Actually, this is the separator string. And we have another argument as end. This end argument's default value is /n, that is new line character. This is called as the end string. We have two arguments. These two arguments are the optional ones. When we do not give any value for the separator string using the sep argument, by default space will be inserted between the comma separated items. And also at the end of each print statement, suppose if end string is not given explicitly, by default slash n, the new line character will be added automatically by the print statement. So now let us see some examples for the print statement. Now let us see how to print the string output. I have created a variable name and it is being assigned with the value Tony. And here in the next statement, I have used the print statement. Within the parenthesis of print statement, it has two items. The first item is a string value and the second item is a variable, as it is not surrounded within quotes, right? So in a print statement, if there are any literal values, they will be printed as it is. So this is a string literal. So this will be printed as it is. So you can see the first one is a string literal and second one is a variable. The string literal has been printed as it is, and if the variable references the value, that value will be printed here. Suppose if it is not assigned with any value, we will be getting an error, right? So now the string literal has been printed as it is, as welcome, and as the variable name, it holds the value or it references the value Tony, that has been printed as the answer. So this is how the string output will be printed in an interactive shell or in a Python program. Now let us see how to print a number. I told already, the literal values, if they are given within the print statement, they will be printed as it is. And this is an integer literal. So number 10 is an integer literal, as it is given in a print statement, that has been printed as it is. Again 12.52, this is a floating point literal, so that will be printed as it is when it is given in a print statement. Now let us see, if expressions are given in a print statement, how it will print, what does it do? So if expressions are given in a print statement, the print statement first evaluates the expression and then it prints the value of that expression. So according to that, 12 multiplied by 3, it has evaluated, the value will be 36, that value has been printed as an answer for us. Again, you can see there is another print statement, this also it holds some of the expressions. So according to the precedence order, operator precedence order, we have to evaluate. Here we have plus symbol as well as multiplication symbol. Here the multiplication symbol, it gets the highest precedence, so we have to evaluate this first. So when we evaluate this, we will be getting 2 multiplied by 3 will be 6, and then 6 plus 4 will be 10. So it will be first evaluating the expression, whatever it is given in the print statement, then it will be printing the result for us. So this is how the expressions will be printed by the print statement. Now let us see how to print multiple comma separated expressions. If there are multiple comma separated objects in a print statement, how it can be printed. So here I have given so many variations. You can see a variable disease has been created and it is assigned with the value COVID-19 surrounded within quotes, single quotes, and then again it is surrounded within double quotes. As it is surrounded within single quotes inside, that will be treated as a string and it will be assigned to the variable disease. And in a second statement, if you see, there are multiple comma separated objects are there. How it will be printed, let us see. If you see the first item, it starts with the double quotes and ends with the double quotes, and inside that we can see the backslash double quotes is there. Backslash double quotes is an escape sequence to print the double quotes. So for this you can see the double quotes, right? So for this backslash double quotes, the double quotes has been printed as an answer for us, followed by separated by comma. You can see the name of the variable has been given. This variable references the value COVID-19 within single quotes, right? So COVID-19 within single quotes has been printed for this variable. If you see the next item within double quotes, the item is printed as is a pandemic backslash double quotes comma announces who full stop is given within the double quotes. So how this will be printed? Is a pandemic will be printed as it is. If you see here, there is an escape sequence, backslash double quote is given, so that will be printed as a double quote. For backslash double quotes, we have received the double quotes over here, followed by there is a comma has been printed as it is, and then announces who full stop that has been printed here as a output. So this is how the multiple comma separated expressions will be printed by the print statement. Now let us see what are the features of the print statement. The print statement auto-converts the items to string. That is, if numeric values are printed, automatically it converts them to the equivalent string and then prints it. So, the print statements, whatever we give as the objects inside, it automatically converts them into the string data type and then only it prints the value. This is one of the features. And for numeric expressions, it first evaluates them and then converts the result to string before printing it. Suppose if there are numeric expression, what print statement will do? First, it evaluates the numeric expressions and converts them into the string type, then only it prints the value as a result. And also it inserts space between the items automatically because the default value of sep argument or the separator character is a space. So that's why automatically between the items or between the objects, comma separated objects, it used to print the space between them. Let us consider this example, how the print statement inserts the space between them automatically. We'll just see now. Here the print statement contains 4 items. The first item is COVID-19 surrounded within double quotes. Second item is outbreak surrounded within double quotes. Third item is it is surrounded within double quotes. And fourth item is pandemic. It is surrounded within double quotes. So 4 string objects are surrounded within double quotes and they are separated by comma. If you see these string values, before and after the string value, there is no space in them. If you see the output, this output has been printed with the space between them. So COVID-19, before and after there is no space, even outbreak, before and after there is no space. But if you see after COVID-19, there is a space, and after outbreak there is a space, after A there is a space, and pandemic also, it just ends here. So between the items automatically space has been inserted by the print statement. So when there is no space also, Python automatically inserts space between the items. This is one of the features of a print statement. Now let us consider the another one. The value of a separator character can be changed with the sep argument of print. So in the previous example we have learned, when multiple objects are given, automatically the print statement inserts a space between them. Suppose if you want to change a space into some other characters, that is also possible by the sep argument of the print statement. Okay, so I have given the same print statement and followed by I have given another argument. I have added another argument in this. You can just see here the print statements. First item is stay, second item is home, and third item is stay, and fourth item is say. Suppose if I print this without the sep argument, suppose if I print this without the sep argument, all these items will be printed by leaving space between the objects. But I have added the sep argument and I have given a different value. What is the default value of a separator argument? The default value of a separator argument is a space. But I don't want to give a space now. I just wanted to give 3 dots. So I have given 3 dots as the value for the sep argument. Now if you see the output, these items, right? Between the items, the value whatever we have given for the sep argument has been printed between the items. So stay and home, between that we have 3 dots, and then home and stay, between that we have 3 dots, and then stay and safe, between that also we have got 3 dots. So this is how the value of the separator character can be changed using the sep argument of a print statement. Let us see the another feature of the print statement. The print statement also appends the new line character at the end of each print statement unless the end argument is given by the user. if the end argument is not given by the user explicitly in a print statement, automatically the new line character will be added at the end of each print statement. Here we have a sample code. Here there are two print statements. The first print statement contains the string value as stay home. The exclamatory symbol is there. Immediately after printing this as an output, the new line character will be added by the print statement. So automatically the cursor will be moving after printing this print statement, that is stay home, it will be moving to the next line. In the next line we have another print statement. So save lives and 3 exclamatory symbols will be printed as the second line for this Python code. So you can just see here stay home has been printed for this print statement, followed by as Python inserted \n, that is new line character, automatically that has been evaluated and then the cursor has come to the next line. That's why the second print statement has been printed in the second line, followed by also /n new line character will be added at the end and it will be going to the next statement. The cursor will be moving to the next statement. This is how the print statement automatically inserts new line character at the end of each print statement. Now, if the end argument is given with the print function, the print function will print the line and end it with the string specified as the end argument and not the new line character. Suppose instead of the new line character, if you want to change the end argument, that can be given explicitly using the end argument. So now let us see the example. Here there are two print statements. The first print statement contains two items. The first item is a string literal and the second item is an end argument. For this end argument explicitly I have given a different value. You can see end equal to and symbol has been given as a value. So by default the end argument's value will be /n new line character, but I have removed that and I have replaced it with the and symbol. So in the next print statement I have given one of the literal save lives like that. So what happens, how it will be printing the output, let us see. For the first print statement, as it is a literal, it will be printing it as it is, that is stay home, like that it will be printing. And I have used the end argument. So immediately after printing stay home exclamatory sign, this and symbol will be printed as an end argument by this print statement. After printing that, the cursor will be there in the same position itself and the next print statement's value save lives will be followed by the and symbol, it will be printed and you will be getting the output as stay home exclamatory sign and then and symbol has been printed here and followed by the next print statement's string literal has been printed as save lives. So this is how the end argument, it replaces the new line character, that is the default new line character, by the value whatever we have given for the end argument. Recapitulation. We have come to the end of this session. We have learned that in Python 3.x onwards, to get input from the user interactively, the built-in function input is used. And also we have learned that to send the output to the standard output device, that is to the monitor, we use the built-in function print. Now let us see some multiple choice questions for term 1 from the topics what we have learned. The first question is, what is the data type of the variable n? We have to find what is the data type of the variable n. Here the variable n has been created by assigning the input function to it. The input function's prompt is given as enter a number. So the user may be entering a number, right? So when they enter a number, what kind of data the variable n will be assigned with, that we have to find it. And here the options are given as integer, list, and also they are given as string and tuple. So what kind of value this variable n will be referencing? We have learned that whatever we read through the input function, it will be returned as a string type to the name of the variable on the left hand side. So what is going to be the answer for this? So what will be the data type of the variable n? It is going to be of a string type. So if let us see the answer, you can just see here, this is of a string type. Though here it is asked enter a number, the user will be entering a number. As only we have used the input function, the input function will be returning a number as a string type only to the name of the variable. That's why the data type of a variable is going to be the string type. Now let us move on to the next question. What is the data type of a variable n? Again it is asked. Let us see the statement now. N equal to int within parenthesis input enter a number is given again. Now for this statement, the user will be entering a number for this input statement, right? So that number will be converted into integer. So for this input statement, when the user is entering a number, that will be of a string type. So that string type value will be converted into integer, right? So that value will be assigned to the variable n. So now the data type of the variable n is going to be the integer type. So we can see here the options are given as integer, list and string and tuple we have as options. As this int function is converting the value whatever it has received as a string to integer, the data type of the variable n is going to be the integer. So the answer is as integer it is given here. Now let us move on to the next question. Find the output is given. Here there is a print statement. This print statement has 3 items surrounded within quotes. First item is 1, again separated by comma. Second item is surrounded within quotes as 1. And third item is also surrounded within quotes as 1. And you can see here there is a separator argument given followed by equal to, its value is given as 3 stars, right? So this separator argument, whatever it has a value, that will be inserted between the comma separated items, right? So how many items we have? We have 3 items as 1, 1, 1 as a string value. So you can see here 1, 1, 1, 3 items we have. The sep argument's value is given as 3 stars. So these 3 stars will be inserted between the items, right? So we have 3 items. Between the items, when 3 stars are inserted, you will be getting the option A as an answer, right? So 1, 3 triple stars and again 1 triple star and 1 it is given as one of the options, and other options are not matching with the output what we have received now. So the answer is going to be 1 triple star, 1 triple star and 1. Okay, so this is how we find the output and we find the answer also. Again find the output is given, that is print within double quotes number 1 is given and there is a end argument as triple stars are given, and again we have another print statement within double quotes, one of the literal is given and another end argument is given here and it has again triple quotes, right? So if we evaluate this statement, there are 2 print statements, right? So if we evaluate that, as it is a string literal, number 1 will be printed as it is, and followed by we have to print the end arguments value. The end arguments values are triple star, we have printed it, and followed by we have another print statement also. This print statement also has one of the string literals, so that will be printed as answer here, because after printing the star, the cursor where it will be there here only, right? Because if the end argument's value is not given explicitly, the default value of the end argument is new line character, so it will be going to the next line. As we have given the end argument and it has a value, that value will be printed as the end argument value by the print statement. That's why after printing that, the cursor will be there. This is a cursor, this is not number 1, right? So followed by we have a print statement and there is a string literal 2, so that has been printed. For this print statement also there is an end argument, so that end argument's value will be printed as the answer, right? So now if we see these options 1 triple star, 2 triple star, our option is matching with the first option and the second option is given as 1 triple star 2, it is not matching with ours. no output also, there is no chance we will be getting a output, and another one is given as error. It will not produce any error. It will produce the expected output as 1 triple star, 2 triple star. That's why our answer is going to be the first one, 1 triple star and 2 triple star. Now let us move on to the next question. Here find the output is given. For this, there is a print statement. This print statement contains 3 items in it. The first item is a string literal, second item is also a string literal, and third item is a sep argument, and it is given with the value equal to symbol. So now let us evaluate this print statement one by one. In a print statement, when the string literals are given, any literals are given, they will be printed as it is. We have got 2 string literals, so these literals will be printed as it is. And one more thing, whenever we give the sep arguments value, that value will be inserted between the comma separated items. We have 2 comma separated items, so first one is input, that will be printed as it is. Before printing the second item, the sep values argument will be inserted between the items, and the second value output will be printed as it is for this print statement. Now let us just see the output whatever we have received, whether it is matching with the options what is given here. The first option is given as input, output and equal to symbol. It is not matching with the output what we have evaluated now. And the second option is given as input equal to output. This option and that option is matching. So our answer is going to be input equal to output, that is the option B. And if you see the option C contains no output, surely we will be getting an output because there is no error in that, and D is given as error. We are not going to get any error because the print statement contains a parenthesis inside that. There are two string literals given, and it has a sep argument also, it has been assigned with the value. So it is not going to produce any error. So our result is going to be the option B, right? So you can see input equal to output is the answer for this. We have come to the end of this session. In this session, we have learned about how to read a simple input and how to print a simple output. In the coming session, let us recapitulate Python fundamentals. Until then, bye from Irene. Thank you.